Are you feeling burnt out from your podcast? Don't worry, it's not a sign that you're a failure, and it is not a sign that you should be stopping. Today, we're going to talk through some signs of burnout from your show, what to do, how to plan ahead for those moments, and really focusing on how to take strategic breaks. Hello and welcome to another episode of Successful Podcasting Unlocked. I'm your host, Alicia Galati, the founder of Galati Media, a full-service podcast management agency where we help business owners launch and maintain lead-generating shows. Today's question is, should I take breaks from my podcast? Now, I don't know about you, but showing up weekly is a lot of work. And I have two shows. One is a solo podcast. The other is almost exclusively guests. And it is difficult. That's twice a week that I have to be showing up on camera, on screen. And there is no way that I could be doing that on a regular basis, especially as someone who struggles with lots of allergies in the springtime and all types of colds that happen in the winter. So it's important for me as a podcaster and as someone who really values my rest and my peace, is also an introvert and cannot handle being around people 24/7, that I am creating content that allows me to show up as my best self without burning out. And the burnout is real. I remember when I launched my first podcast, how much I was putting in time and effort to create a show that was high quality while working a 9 to 5, scheduling interviews, trying to figure out when was the best time to get those interviews recorded, not having a dedicated recording space. It was a lot. And then you add in the fact that it was 2018 when there weren't a lot of resources like there are today for podcasters. You might not know, though, if you're feeling signs of burnout. So here are some examples of what that burnout might feel like. And I want you to, as you're listening to this or watching this, to really take a moment and consider and be real with yourself. Are you feeling these things? The first thing you might be feeling is overwhelmed and stressed about your podcast. Maybe you're not seeing the results that you want to see, or you are feeling like, why am I doing this? This is a lot. Maybe it's a lack of motivation, or you're not feeling as creative as you used to when you first started your show. Maybe you're feeling a decline in the content quality or your ability to show up consistently. That is an issue. These are all signs that you might need a break from your show. Maybe your podcast is having a negative impact on your personal life and other commitments that you've said, I'm going to show up for these. If a podcast is doing any and all of that stuff for you or to you, I would really encourage you to go back to my episode that I did on the Listeners to Leads podcast with my dear friend Lisa Zaratny, where we talked about this idea that your mental health is more important than your podcast. And I think that that really is a stress point for me. Anytime that a client says, life is happening, I'm feeling frustrated with the show, I'm losing my creativity, I will tell them, if you need a break, we will do replays. It is okay to do that. It is okay to take a step back from your show to rejuvenate and revitalize yourself and take care of yourself. So, what are some benefits of taking a break? It allows you to recharge your creativity, get that excitement back into your show, back into your life. It'll allow you to have some more long-term sustainability with your show rather than being a flash in the pan like most podcasts end up being. It also allows you time to reflect and plan. And that is where I think that it's really important, is that when you're approaching your podcasts, approach it with a sense of fun and excitement and testing it out, seeing what works best, what doesn't, what do you like doing, what do you not like doing, and really double down on what is exciting and what is fun. That is going to allow you to show up more consistently and sustainably in the long run. Now I'm going to tell you a little bit about my approach to my podcasts that allows me to show up in a way that really is helpful for me, but also allows my team to have what they need and doesn't rely on me having to show up on a regular basis. And that is that I take a more seasonal approach to my shows. So I know that summertime tends to be a really difficult time to get space and space in my house, to get quiet time in my house. My kids are usually running around. It's very hot. We live in North Carolina, and it is very hot outside. Most of the time, you can't go out past 10 o'clock because it is unbearably hot. So I am always looking for ways to make the most of my time, especially the summers when I kind of want to dial things back. I want to relax a little more. If I have podcast interviews lined up, most of the time in the summer, people will cancel those or reschedule those, or life just happens. And so I start planning for my summer episodes in the spring. And what this allows me to do is to show up to my consistently weekly show in a seasonal way. Then when it comes summertime, I don't have to worry about, oh, I have to have an episode for this week. I don't have anything. What should I do? Instead, I have episodes for my guest podcast already planned out through October. They're already recorded. So I have those already mapped out. Even if there's an issue, 1 or 2 issues with a guest, or there's an issue with an audio, I have stuff that I can grab from. For my solo podcast, I do those in batches of 4. And that allows me once a month to sit down and say, all right, what are the next 4 episodes we're going to do? Great, let's go ahead and do those. And if I need to double up, then I can do 2 Fridays in a row and just say, honey, you got to take the kids to the library. I need to do this, and then tackle them. And it only takes me about an hour and a half to do 4 podcast solo episodes because they are 10 minutes or less. I can keep them very simple, very streamlined, and to the point, and I already have them mapped out. That allows me to be able to show up better. It also allows me to follow my creativity. It allows me to look ahead and say, ooh, that would be a great month to do a series or to do a topic around this, or, ooh, that's a great way to plan ahead. Whereas if I am chasing my tail every week, trying to figure out what am I going to talk about this week, that's not a way to sustainably keep showing up for my audience. With that in mind, don't feel, especially if you have over 50 episodes or over 100 episodes, don't feel like you have to consistently come up with new content. It's okay to take a month off and replay your old episodes. It's okay to grab those and do a little teaser of like, here are my top 4 episodes that are on around this topic. So say I did a collection of episodes that are around content. Here are my top 4 episodes around podcast content. Enjoy, listen. Next month, we're going to do one on marketing and then run through 3 months. I could do content, marketing, and monetization. Run through 3 months of content from all of the episodes that I've done before and create something that allows me to take a step back, take a break, and it's okay. So often I think that we feel like we have to keep showing up. And I want you to remember that 1, your mental health is more important than your podcast, and your ability to show up does not mean that you have to create something new every single time. You can also take, like I do, a very seasonal approach to your podcast. There are so many options out there for you to find something that works for you. So my challenge for you today is to take a step back, be real with yourself. Are you feeling like you're close to burnt out? Do you feel like you're on the edges or the cusp? Or do you feel like you're burnt out? If you do, how can you look to what is coming for your podcast and create some space for creativity and excitement, and to really assess, is a podcast still what you want to do? I hope that was helpful in helping you address your burnout in your podcast and seeing if right now is maybe a time to take a more seasonal approach to your show. If you have your own podcasting questions, please feel free to reach out. You can DM me on Instagram or LinkedIn, or you can send me a message via successfulpodcastingunlocked.com. Until next time, happy podcasting.